Hi, I'm Deepali Naair. I work with IBM. I'm also host to a podcast, Being CEO with Deepali Naair on Awaaz.com, and I'm really happy to participate in this report, which is Mirum India's MarTech Report. My earliest memory of usage of MarTech tools is from 2006 at HSBC. And that was the implementation of the CRM talisman that we used to have for data to be used by the marketing team. We of course had a data and analytics agency through whom we actually attempted continuous segmentation in those days, and that really failed, but we learned a lot from that. And then I joined L&T Insurance, where my first set of MarTech tools was really an Excel sheet. And we built the whole P&L and a few months of the early business. Then of course Siebel came in, and we once again were dependent on our data analytics agency to give us a lot of the data points which we used to put into campaign management and to calculate the ROI from the business. At Mahindra Holidays though, I also remember that we developed some of the APIs on our own, because it was a very peculiar business. Timeshare business does not really have a standard set of tools available in the market, but the partnership with the data analytics agency was really great. Since then, world has moved on, and these days when I look back at the last 5 or 6 years, has been hectic implementation of newer tools available in the market, getting to know what they can be used for, and integration with a lot of the creatives and campaign management tools. But at the heart of it, I think what is critical for us to look at is how can you really have all the data in one place, and therefore all your MarTech tools reading and feeding back into the same data set. The tech stack ROI at the stage where you are putting capex into it is a difficult one to prove initially. When you've not implemented it, when you're actually taking guesstimates as to how much it may improve the funnel efficiency, for example, and where it would improve it at the bottom of the funnel or top of the funnel. So I think that's where the difficulty is when you're taking an estimate. But once the tech stack is in, and once it starts showing improvements, and if you're used to a system where you're measuring everything, then at that point of time you know exactly where it is delivering ROI. But as a CMO, you need to be very conscious of having gross data points of, for example, are you measuring digital spend per sale? Are you measuring, overall conversion rates? Are you measuring how contribution of digital marketing is going up, whether it's your pipeline or whether it's your actual sales that you decide to measure inside your organization? I think having a view of those gross KPIs for any CMO is extremely critical. And no, I haven't found it tough. I think it's pretty easy if you're numbers oriented. But yes, whenever we've had to go and ask for capex, I think that's a discussion between the CFO and the CMO that's long drawn and that requires a lot of work. You have to really encourage the team to be up to date with the evolution. And I do that by ensuring that I organize talks from new technology people or from leading luminaries in the industry. I encourage my team to read by gifting them books. I encourage them to read by sending them stuff which is relevant. I also believe a lot that a formal class education in newer methods, newer technologies, innovation, etc. is very, very useful for them. But I think as a leader, the most important thing to ensure that the team learns and is focused on skill enhancement is if I walk the talk myself, and I do walk the talk. Interesting question. So I think back when almost nobody was on Twitter, I was on Twitter. I think my Twitter account is as old as 2008. And today I think amongst the marketing fraternity, I'm probably one of the persons who has, top following. So on LinkedIn. This earns me the respect and gets my team to acknowledge that I walk the talk. Second example, and a more recent one, 2.5 years ago, I started a podcast of my own. Now, this is supposed to be a new age medium. Normally, Gen Zs are doing it, not even millennials. And I did a very successful job of it. My podcast has got 4 awards. It's got 59% retention rate. I did the content strategy all completely on my own. And to make it popular, we've not spent a single dollar or a single rupee. Now the work that's been done over there, when my team sits down with me and they realize that Deepali is on top of the game, although she may be an older CMO, but she understands what content is all about, what content strategy is all about. She's getting in and learning a new medium altogether. I think then when I talk to them about skill enhancement, it's not just something, they wish away. It's something that they pay serious attention to. I think first of all, marketers need to be well versed with what data privacy rules are all about. Not just data privacy. I think they should also be bothered about data security. And they should be the ones working with the CIO to ensure that the customer's data is protected and the organization has the highest levels of security available. My observation is that a lot of the times, marketers do not hold themselves responsible for data security and data privacy. They are so focused on delivering on their KPIs and ROI that this gets, second seeding. And they need to put it front and center and need to ensure that the brand, the company, reputation is protected by ensuring that all the data privacy norms are followed. The second thing, don't look at the data privacy norms that exist in India. Look at what are the best data privacy norms globally and try and build your tech architecture to ensure that the best data privacy norms are done. Try and ensure that your campaign management structure is such that you actually are following the best data privacy norms. The third is ask your partners the same question. There are answers that are available to ensure that a customer's right is protected. It's just that you will have to take longer and it will be harder for you to find those solutions. So don't take the easy way out. I think it's not about which technology. I think it's about how you deal with technology. And the basic frameworks apply, which is that you need to be both a generalist as well as a specialist. So specialize in one space, but please ensure that you know 60-70% of what's happening around you and what other people are doing. Second is reading up, and I already spoke about, walking the talk and, doing things on your own. But I'm further accentuating that by saying roll up the sleeves and do it yourself. Do not depend on the agency. Do not depend if you're a CMO, that your team will just do and, magic will happen. You need to understand the concepts yourself. And the third thing that a lot of times marketers shy away from, which is number crunching. You need to be very, very familiar with numbers. You need to be comfortable with numbers. You need to embrace numbers. The world that's coming up, especially in the performance marketing domain, a person who has a much better understanding of data analytics, being comfortable with numbers is going to succeed more. And the last one, have humility. There are people who have other specialist skills. Make friends with them. It's not all about a competitive set where you're competing with the person who sits next to you. It's about a team delivery. Of course, the CMOs need to ensure that the teams are more comfortable working as teams, but I think you as an individual also need to ensure that you work better with your peer set, whether that is inside your organization or whether that is across your partners, who are your marketing agencies.